Greetings, ladies and managers, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series The Nature of Predators. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Please note that with this chapter we are caught up with the author, so we'll wait for 20 to 30 chapters before we make a return to this series, depending on scheduling of other series at the time. Anyways, onto the story. Chapter 170. Memory transcription subject, Chief Hunter Isif, Arkansas Rebellion Command. Date, Standardized Human Time, March 25th, 2137. Landing on Liberty's Bastion, I could see the fruits of humanity's venture into the universe. The colonists who had been evacuated under the threat of Malu's shadow fleet curing them had returned to the frontier. Secretary General Zhao was making his first in-person visit to the colony and agreed to meet me here, a shorter journey than traveling to Earth. The dignitary knew that I'd have to pay a visit to Farah, who was now a permanent resident of the settlement. Her last message had been an irritating remark about how she thought that I'd look cute in a sequined hat, so she'd bought one for the next time we met. Dreadful. I thought I'd have to face that insufferable idea. However, the purpose of my visit was to brief Zhao on the rebellion's progress and inquire about the status of the battle for Alpha. The reality was that we didn't have ships to lose to contribute to a direct assault on the Kolshian homeworld. Our tactics had always been guerrilla warfare through and through. There was nothing glamorous in breaking up supply lines and utilizing hit-and-run tactics against ship contingents, but it was the surest way for our purpose. If our rebellion broke apart, that would mean the Arkansas had no optimistic future in the galaxy. Neither Gisnel or Ilthus would detach themselves from cruelty. I couldn't believe what the UN intelligence had told me about the Dominion fighting alongside the Shadow Fleet. I never imagined that they'd be so openly show their mutual interest in continuing the war. Gisnel must be desperate to stop humanity from coming to risk now, regardless of how Earth has refrained from openly waging war against them. The majority of the Dominion ships being at the Kolshian homeworld meant that each sector was left sparse defense. We couldn't resist targeting ship counts in the meager thousands, depriving Betterment of much-needed numbers, assuming the band at Alpha fell. The copious spacecraft were kept in Riss's central sector was halved. My rebellion hadn't gone for them first, since my next plan was to trumpet a certain video through the channels. Command vessels at Alpha were jamming comms to prevent the footage of Gisnel and Nikonus' collusion from being passed along. But the brass weren't back babysitting the leftovers. That strategy had flipped several Arkansas vessels that I'd been able to contact in the external sectors. Lisa breathed in the fresh air, smiling. This is a lovely planet. Regardless of what happens to Alpha, maybe more so if we win, I bet humanity is going to spread out. Like them, I think this colony has a lot of potential to be the start of something new. It would also be the perfect world to hide secret experiments, Oleg challenged, with dramatic arm motions much farther away from Earth than the 3 colonies that popped up in our territory. We could work on bioweapons and no one would ever know. Oleg, I've never met anyone as paranoid as you. You need medication. I do not. I am not paranoid when I'm right. It would be easier if I were wrong, but other people just miss these things. Though our posse of 3, with Kaisel staying behind to avoid offending local leadership, was standing just in front of the landing ramp, the settlement looked ramshackle and unimpressive. There were 2 large buildings that I could scan with my visual translators, with one labeled a communal dormitory and the other as a town hall. The sole independent constructions were hab modules in front of the farming fields, where earth crops had been planted. There was little in the way of shops, apart from market stalls for food and general goods. The Maziks were constructing an embassy with proper elegance, but that was still a work in progress. I thought I recalled some tidbit from Falra about the Terrans opening a new seat vault in Liberty's Bastion. That was the closest thing to a government mission on this world. There was likely a lab-grown meat factory tucked away somewhere, far from any Mazik eyes. I guess that was hidden, since it might qualify as a bioweapon by the Federation standards. Oleg needed a reality check on his fantastical conspiracies, especially after the jaw-dropping revelations of late had encouraged his outlandish theories. The glasses-wearing human was talking about mind-reading technology just last week. It couldn't get more detached from the realm of probability. I flared my nostrils. Silence! The likeliest secret on this colony is the fact that the Orcs are landing within Mazak territory, yes. I recall they weren't pleased to see me at the summit, so it's bold to invite me here.
It's our colony, Lisa shrugged, bringing her arms closer to her chest as the chilly breeze nipped at her. We can do what we want, though I don't imagine Zao wants to step on any toes. This planet is perfect for habitation, and we wouldn't want the Mazaks rethinking their gift. I wouldn't mind settling down at a place like this.
I thought you wanted to open a coffee shop and bring people together.
That's why there's opportunity here. Earth will pour tons of time and resources into building this place up. There's no conveniences or entertainment spots here yet, so the market isn't saturated like it is at home. Places like this could become something more than rushed attempts to get humans out of Sol.
I agree, Zhao chimed in, having approached quietly from the side. There were limitations from my target date of having residence here and the United Nations' 3 other Bastion colonies by 2136's end. In peacetime, we'll have higher standards for new construction. If all goes well, we'll be the de facto power in the galaxy, and we need to look the part. It's wonderful that you can make it out here, Isif. I turned my maw to face the human. Secretary General, I eagerly anticipate an update on the Battle of Alpha, but first, might I inquire how you're hiding my visit from the Mazaks? I am not. We don't plan to build our alliances on lies and secrecy, and foster mistrust within Sapient Coalition. President Kupo knows that you are here, and I've told him that we are coordinating our war efforts with a rebellion leader in the area. He doesn't approve, but won't interfere. Very well. I assume that you wish to speak of the war effort. I'd like to discuss further where the Orcs will stand after this is over, because I believe my recent efforts make Gisnel's capitulation likely. All I need is an update on Alpha. I'll let you begin with a summary of what the rebellion has been up to, and then I'll bring you up to speed on the battle. Don't worry, I'll point you at the starship docking port to find Felra. We don't get much traffic here, but she fits in well as an inspector. Felra is a strange doser, but I am grateful for that annoying rodent safety. Mingza, how much do you already know about our plans from Jones and her informant?
Lisa huffed as I pointed at her with my tail. I'm not Jones's informant.
You are always in touch with her, and promise to handle her like you have some inside road. She's always seems to know my plans. Doesn't take a genius to figure out how that might occur. I'm not the Federation.
Oleg narrowed his eyes. You know, that makes a lot of sense. No wonder you shoot down my conspiracies. You're one of them. Coming from a guy who instantly believed Isif was a UN spy, Lisa Reynolds shot back.
And he was a spy for us.
Secretary General Zhao's eyebrows shot upwards, as though he were conceding to point to Aleski.
I have no idea if Reynolds works for Jones, though I wouldn't put it past her. And I know that she wouldn't tell me. Old habits die hard. Still, I'm grateful that you 3 seem to have bonded. Now, forgive my impatience, but I would like to get back to keeping tabs on Alpha as soon as we're done. Can you fill me in on your recent whereabouts?
The entire goal of my actions had been to bring as many Orcs to my side as possible. I wanted to have enough people left to cobble together a society. Turning Chief Hunter Ilthus had hopefully been an asset to humanity's cause. But with nothing left to lose, I'd been determined to convert more Dominion personnel. From the second-hand information Jones had given me, I knew that command ships at Alpha were blocking the Terrans from passing along Betterman's treason. It was my belief that we'd achieved a workaround, though the fallout remained to be seen.
I have no idea how humanity is holding up against 2 galactic powers. Any chaos or doubt within Arxel ranks could aid their mission. My people approached the vessels left behind in each sector and forwarded the video of Gisnel and Iconis colluding. After the viewing of this footage, they were asked to join my side. A large percentage have committed forces to the rebellion, which take Riss's ship's count down a notch further. We also have deigned to launch attacks against any who didn't join our side. This should help humanity to gather Dominion surrender, yes? I asked.
The Secretary General grimaced.
I gave you my word that we'll help your cause once Alpha is dealt with, and I'll follow through. The less ships they have, the better. I don't imagine you find fault in having more ships at your disposal either. However, I confess it would be more of an immediate use to connect with the Orcs fighting us at this moment. You're in luck. The Dominion does not have a command ships to jam signals out here, since they are at Alpha. However, any fleet needs to communicate amongst itself. Specific channels are open so chief hunters can stay in touch with their sector and be appraised of the attacks back here. If it comes from an approved vessel and is framed as a status report, leadership has no reason not to pass it along. I've given pointers that should help some Orcs abetting the Colchians see the truth very soon. Oleg flashed his teeth. Yusuf is saying that the video will be playing mid-battle. We should have at least some Dominion assets turning to our side and throwing the wrench in the Colchians' alliance. I thought that it was wise to pass along the message to each sector in person, so there was no chance the Dominion could catch wind of our intent and block the video. It's important that they're blindsided, Lisa said. Zhao chapped his chin. I agree that we don't want them to get their heads up. I'll brief you in command, and we'll fill the fleet in once we receive visual confirmation of hijinks. Might I say, excellent work, Isif. Without ever needing to send a warship of your own, you are responsible for all the extra help we've gotten, from saving Earth to swaying your people. Don't think that we don't know that you've done more than anyone for humanity's cause. Your cause is my cause, ending the Federation, a better future, no more sapient cattle, I responded. Might I ask what you mean by all the help? This means Ilthus has been useful, perhaps, yet your reference seems to be corresponding multiple parties. The Dirty and Shield have come to our aid, too. That's in no small part thanks to you, risking your people to stop the Colchians from eradicating Quelqua, when you had nothing to gain. It's telling that our chances relied on the friends and allies that we have struggled so hard to get. We did what was right by ourselves and by the laws of decency, even when it was taxing. Our decisions haven't been perfect, and there seems to be things that we had to do that was unpleasant. But we opened enough eyes to the truth for it to make a difference. You say we, as if I were a part of this outreach to the leaf lickers. You were, Isif. I'm proud to call you a friend of the United Nations. While I cannot guarantee what the Sapien Coalition will think about the Oxor after this is all said and done, I promise to try and do right by you. I'll try to build a path to reconciliation.
Lisa chuckled. That won't be easy, sir.
Believe me, I know. There are so many broken relationships, from centuries of cyclical hatred that need mending. There are trillions of traumatized people, freed cattle, those grieving worlds that are bombed out husks, brainwashed citizens with lives rooted in fear, and victims from the literal past. Trying to set the galaxy back on track will take a battle of its own. You've come a long way from protecting humanity's interests above all others, I remarked. We gain nothing from the suffering of other races. Peace, equality, and community are humanity's interests. It's the only way Earth would ever be safe, prosperous member of the Orion neighborhood. You say that like they who believe they can truly accept predators. I do, with time. I think they could even accept the Oxor. My nostrils flared, considering whether that would be a possibility. Before everything that happened in recent months, I wouldn't have believed that it was possible for the prey to forgive what we'd done, and for us to forgive the long-ago curse of starvation. That was before I learned that the Federation wasn't the sole party responsible for our plight. Betterment had been an agent that wiped out our cattle and encouraged us to seek out sapient food sources. Likewise, the herbivores had learned that the Colchians were complicit in everything the Oxal did, with the power to stop it at any time. Chief Nikonus wouldn't have allowed a predator race to be peaceful and used us as a tool to justify their control. There were so many things I'd seen on a personal level that gave me hope for the future. Valra had been willing to accept me, even after learning that I was an Oxor. That deranged doser tried to get a rise out of me often, and once dabbled in eating Oleg's beef jerky. Governor Tava had been willing to work with me during the cattle exchange. She'd argued in my favor when the humans imprisoned me, and again at the summit.
there was the fact that the majority of 38 herbivore species voted to let me speak at that summit, and that the vote to join human-led venture was still unanimous after Zhao admitted to working with me. There was even the Yodel reaching out after the event and being pleasant to work with during the battle. I liked and respected the feisty marsupials I spoke with during the fight for Kalqua. There's even that the Mazics didn't throw a fit with the word of Oxal Chief Hunter was landing in a predatory enclave within their territory. Things have changed. I hope so. It seems that we'll be on the outside looking in for some time, I replied. Zhao tilted his head. That's why I am personally making an effort to keep you in the loop. You're as much a friend of humanity as anyone in the Sapien Coalition. Just to drive my point home, the risks you've taken for us haven't gone unnoticed. Now, I'm sure that you've been waiting to hear about the Battle of Alpha. That would be appreciated. In short, we've pushed through to Alpha, and the planetary defenses are under the control of our ground troops. It's my expectation that we'll know who wins or loses this fight by the end of the day. It's not like that's the last leg of the journey. But with the new information you gave us about turning Dominion forces, I'm hopeful that humanity won't be searching for a new home as of tomorrow. Once the result is locked, I'll make sure intelligence passes that along to you. The fate of my people is in humanity's hands. I hope that you will succeed. I hope so too, but there's nothing else either of us can do. You have achieved more than I could have hoped for, so take comfort in that and save the worrying for another day. Go enjoy your time with Felra, Siffy. Ask for her at the docking port over there. She'll be on a call now. I will. Good luck, Zhao. Whatever happens, it's been an honor to work with you and all of humanity. The Terran leader smiled. Likewise. Oleg and Lisa tailed behind me as I pedaled off in the direction Zhao was pointing. It was a strange world where I could express my feelings and meet up with a herbivore friend who cared about me against the odds. There was nothing else I could do at this point to aid the rebellion or the UN fleet's chances. I hoped that my final contribution, ensuring that Dominion forces by Alpha got wind of Gisnell and Iconis' scheming, paid dividends. It had to work. How could Arxel not turn on Bedmond, hearing how suffering was their intent, in conjunction with the Federation? For all intents and purposes, I was assuming the news would cause a significant schism in Arxel ranks. Ilthus couldn't be the only one to react to the truth with outrage. With the numbers a bit more in their favor, humanity might be able to eliminate the Shadow Fleet from Alpha's orbit. This would be a defining moment, where a verdict would be passed down about whether sapient predators had the right to exist in this galaxy. End of chapter. I would like to thank the T5 peeps, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Bushmaster 177, Leslie 517, Red Panda 121, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Lightjock, Dragzoon W.R.E, Lord Azrakul, Severin Cerberus, and Arcadian. Thank you very much.